DESIblitz.com.
When Farah approached the reception desk, she couldn't see anyone who looked like a lawyer. There were a few men standing in one corner, all suited and booted and very official looking. They were engrossed in conversation, and from what little Farah could gather from the chatter, they appeared to be politicians or something of that ilk. She walked up to the tall, dark-haired receptionist and asked if anyone by the name of Ali Umar had called for her. "Mr. Umar is standing just there, ma'am, right behind you." Farah turned around, expecting to see someone in a smart tailored suit, a crisp pale shirt, a silk tie, clutching a briefcase or perhaps some files in his hand. Ali Umar was of medium height, with long wavy shoulder-length black hair parted off centre. He had brownish green eyes, a scruffy moustache and a beard. The look was completed with a black t-shirt and dark brown leather jacket, frayed sky blue denim jeans and a muddy-looking pair of grey trainers. To Farah's eyes, he looked like a wannabe rock star. Oh God, she thought to herself. The last one was all official sounding, but had no backbone at all. And this lawyer looks like he must surely spend more time washing his hair than looking through his files. He finished his call and put his mobile phone in his back pocket and stepped forward. "Miss Gilani?" "Yes," she answered. "I'm Ali Umar. Pleased to meet you." The American accent seemed even stronger in person, perhaps because of the way Ali looked. Was it real or was it manufactured? On Ali's suggestion, they went and sat in a terrace cafe outside. He took his jacket off and hung it on the back of his chair and seemed quite at ease with the temperature. Farah thought it was much too warm and sticky, but the terrace area was a delight to sit in. "Do you like the hotel?" he asked her. "Yes, very much so." "It's a great establishment, although it's had its fair share of tragedy." "Really?" Farah asked, waiting for him to tell the story. "Well, it was rebuilt after the bomb attacks during the terror-ridden post-9/11 period. You may remember. Countless attacks which caused countless tragic and needless deaths, not to mention the long-term damage." "And now?" Farah asked with a little concern. "Oh, don't worry. The security situation around the country is much better now. Although we Pakistanis know better than to rest on our laurels. There are still sporadic bursts of bombings and attacks, but, generally speaking, lower levels, smaller scale than it was a few years ago." And then he turned his attention towards the food and proceeded to order what seemed like half the menu for what was supposed to be a light lunch. Farah began the task of going through the case from beginning to end, with as many details as she could cram in. Ali scribbled away on his notepad, in between mouthfuls of Mughlai lamb, seekh kebabs, tandoori naan and mint chutney, and said nothing whilst Farah presented her case. When he finished jotting everything down with meticulous precision, albeit in a handwriting style that most would struggle to read, he sat back. He twisted his pen around in his hand gently, and Farah could see that he was turning it all round in his mind. He did so for a little while. Probably longer than he needed, Farah thought to herself, but nevertheless she waited patiently. "Okay, so the first thing I must do is speak to the prosecution and the court and see exactly what's going on with regards to charges and potential hearing dates. See how far the case has actually progressed. In the meantime, I'll arrange for us to visit her in prison as soon as possible." But on the flip side, she had to acknowledge she was out on a limb here, out of her own territory and comfort zone, and she had to allow him to get things sorted because helping Razia was the most important thing. "Yes, that's imperative," she said. "Razia will be feeling all alone and frightened right now, so we need to see her as soon as we can." "We'll go first thing in the morning," Ali continued. "I'll come and collect you from outside the hotel at 8 a.m, unless you hear from me otherwise. In any event, here's my mobile number." "What about your fees?" she asked him. "Oh, don't worry about that," replied Ali dismissively with a shake of the head. But you have to get paid. You can't live off fresh air, Farah protested. However, as she looked at the state of him, she felt as though he looked like exactly that must be what he was doing. Seriously, don't worry about my fees. Farah thought this was a bit odd. A lawyer not worried about his fees? Should she be worried? She asked herself. Who was this guy? She knew nothing about him. She only had the word of the receptionist as to the fact that he was a great guy/lawyer. How did she know she could trust him? Ali was beginning to sense her hesitation and unease, and he jumped in straight away before she could ponder for too long. I think the High Commission feel partly responsible for not keeping a closer eye on Zaid, Ali added. I think you'll find they'll help out on the quiet, if they can. Let's not worry about money at this stage. Let's just concentrate on getting an innocent young girl out of prison. Farah hoped his words would ring true, but she had to wait and see. She recalled the words of the taxi guy at the airport. This is Pakistan and anything goes. She couldn't just assume that everything was as it seemed, especially after what had happened to Razia. She knew she had to proceed with caution. Hello, my name's Abda Khan and I am the author of the novel Razia, which is the story of Farah, who is a lawyer living and working in London, and she comes across a young woman called Razia, who she feels is being kept as a domestic slave. And in order to get justice for her, she travels from the UK to Pakistan, and there she meets Ali, who is a lawyer based in Pakistan, and together they try and seek justice for Razia.
DESIblitz.com